Hello everyone, my name is Walker Thompson, and I'd like to welcome you to the first in a series of 10 videos concerning some of the most important operational best practices and how the digital dining dashboard helps. The first one we're going to cover today is increasing scheduling efficiency. Now, we've heard from a lot of our customers that these operational best practices are important, and let's face it, scheduling is a big one. In other words, how well your manager schedules, how well they keep those schedules within cost, and really how well your workforce is performing for you. That's what we're going to talk about today. So the first place we've landed on here is actually on the digital dining dashboard itself. As you can see, there are several dashboard modules here that can be added to your dashboard concerning inventory, maybe a daily manager logbook or a red book. And we also see a labor graph here that's been created as a custom report. So if I open this report, what I'm going to see are real specific details on my actual labor cost versus my scheduled labor cost. Now you can see I can query further here to go back in time, but I'm starting on February 1st, and I'm seeing through roughly about a week of schedules created by my manager that we've got a bit of a variance here. This probably happens in your location quite a bit, where what you schedule on one hand isn't actually the same as what actually happens. The tighter you can make this, the closer you're going to be able to account in advance for labor costs. So for example, if a manager creates a schedule on Sunday and it matches exactly what happens at the end of that pay period, well then you know exactly what your costs are beginning on Sunday. So it's a great way to train and keep managers in check on how they're utilizing your workforce. So how do we do that? Reporting is one thing. How do we make those changes? Well, here's something that I used to do as a user of the solution. I would log in as an enterprise user here, where we might be monitoring multiple locations. And what I'm going to do next is log into a specific location here so I can maybe check in to see how my manager's scheduling for next week. So I'm going to go ahead and log in as a manager user. So I'm going to the manager's dashboard at the location called Ann Arbor number 1. Now as you can see, the manager has an entirely different dashboard. They have a manager logbook over here. We also have a sales forecasting solution as well, where it's highlighting some historic sales that might happen. So it's helping me at least understand as a manager where I might schedule based on what the anticipated sales may be. Next thing we do is log in here under the labor tab. What I'm seeing on this first screen is the daily roster. So I'm seeing who's coming in, what their start and end times are, and if I want, I can even see a coverage report here as well. So who's working and our overall costs. Now, the big task for us today is to look at the upcoming schedule to see if maybe I can help the manager make some adjustments. I'm clicking on the schedule button. I see this is the schedule that's been published for this week. Looks pretty good, so I'm going to toggle to the next week. Now remember, I'm doing this all from the comfort of my home office. I'm not talking to anyone, I'm not arguing with anyone about their schedule, their life. I'm doing this as a general manager or maybe an owner, where the task could even be completely taken away from the manager if you'd like. Now this schedule right now is unpublished, as you can see. So it's still in the creation process. Right here, I'm seeing a couple of conflicts. I'm seeing that, gosh, well, there's maybe one of the problems. We've got a lot of overtime here. So maybe what I want to do is delete this shift going to Joe Dunbar, or maybe edit the shift down a little bit just so we're not spending too much money on overtime. You see, that's a pretty big shift for this guy. Geez, manager. So what I'm going to do is lower it down to 1 p.m. instead of 3:15 p.m. and save that shift. Look how fast I just made a change. In less than 2 minutes, I've updated the schedule and I've lowered my costs. I'm going to scroll down here a little bit and I'm going to take a look at our forecast. Now this forecast is built on historic net sales and also a sales forecast. And it's saying to the manager, hey, whatever comes in insofar as sales or what we anticipate to sell, do not spend more than 15% of those sales on our labor. Already I can see the manager has broken the mark here at 2.80%. So at this point, if this schedule were to be published, the managers or the staff would cost me 17.8% of those net sales. That's what I'd be paying. May not be what actually happens, but that's what I'd be paying. So I might want to make a few edits here as well. Maybe Shirley is a very expensive employee, so what I want to do is maybe give her a shift during the weekend, but right now I want to drag this shift down here and give it to Larry. And maybe edit that shift as well. I could even delete the shift if I'd like. So the efficiency gain is helping a manager monitor those costs and keeping schedules in check with what actually happens. The closer you control that variance, the better you're going to know your labor costs at the end of the week, and of course control those costs overall every month. Hey, thanks a bunch for listening today. Again, if you have any questions on the Digital Dining Dashboard, you can always find us at www.digitaldining.com. Thank you.